So big good evening and welcome to Manchester's Off the Square for episode 2, the latest episode of MancuniaTV. We are with you for the next hour or so, bringing you the best arts, the best entertainment and the best performance in Manchester. On the show tonight, we've got live music from the Shed Project and Loose Articles. Leon the Pig Farmer, who does our poetry section, can't be here with us tonight. He's in Japan, so we are going to be crossing live to Japan while he does his poetry corner. Do you like that, yeah? He's going to be bringing us Esther Koch live for his little poetry bit. We've got photographer David Gleave with us tonight. We've got MC Tunes doing The World According to Tunes. We've got comedy with Steve Titley. But first of all, our first guest on the show tonight, episode 2 of MancuniaTV, is artist and musician Danny Cawley. Danny, how are you doing, man?
I'm all right. I'm all right, I think.
What a welcome.
I'm all right, I think.
So how's it going? Are you enjoying, like, you know, the surroundings and stuff, MancuniaTV?
Yeah, it's like the word, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? It's good, isn't it? There's been a few things said about it, but, you know, we'll stick with that. First of all, you're a musician. We're going to talk about your music in a minute, but you're also an artist. Tell us a little bit about your artwork and where your inspiration comes from that.
Well, I'm a painter, and then I'm a musician.
So you're a painter. Tell us about your paintings.
I'm an artist. I gave up drinking 22 years ago and started painting. I used to be a graffiti artist in the 80s, 1984, 85. First graffiti artist in Manchester. So when I gave up drinking, I just wanted to paint. I needed to do something with my hands instead of fighting.
So the viewers at home now could see some of your work and some of your paintings and stuff. Where do you get your inspirations from, you know?
Mainly good coffee and music.
Really? Yeah. Simple as that?
Yeah.
Do you find you get more inspiration since you've been off the drink than when you were on it?
It's hard to say.
Different inspirations.
Yeah, I mean, like, having a clear head helps, you know, especially when you want to sell it.
So it's 22 years since you started doing your paintings and stuff like that. What about music? When did music come into the equation?
Sort of the same kind of time, but I've had success with me paintings. I've sold them all over the world and that, you know.
What about your music? What kind of stuff were you into back then when you first decided to pick up a guitar?
I was into like Pink Floyd and Hawkwind and odd bands like that, but then later the Mondays and, you know, going out and raving with Nicky at the venue, you know.
What about now? Do you still listen to that kind of stuff? Do you find yourself listening to any new music that comes out of Manchester?
I love the War on Drugs.
Yeah, great band, yeah.
Fucking great band, yeah.
Great band.
To swear, sorry.
Yeah, it's rock and roll TV. Right, do what you want. Yeah. Well, within reason, you know what I mean?
Fuck it then.
Yeah, that's it. You crack on. Tell us about the songs you're going to do for us tonight.
The first song I'm going to do is called Cactus Track, and I'm going to dedicate it to my mum who died nine days ago.
Sorry to hear that, man. We're all with you.
Sorry to bring it down, but it's true.
Well, do you know what? We're looking forward to hearing the song that you're going to do. So this is MancuniaTV. We are Off the Square in Manchester for episode 2, and it is a great pleasure to welcome to you our first live performance of the night. This is Danny Cawley.
Thank you.
And I'm done with the damage, let the drama sail away. I love you already, but I don't know how you're gonna play. And I'm sorry to see you inside out. My mouth can be dangerous, I don't mean to shout. We'll sleep when we get ourselves back. The heat burning on our backs, a grey cloud that followed us back as we walked along a cactus track. And my mouth can be mean, it's a trick that we've all got. I need to stay clean. I've looked at the clock, haven't already forgot. Do you sit with you thinking I'll do to stop yourself sinking? Do you think of the blue? We walked up a hill and we laughed at the top, and down we came without the drop. We'll walk when we get ourselves back. The heat was burning on my back, a grey cloud followed us back as we walked along a cactus track. Along a cactus track. Deep, deep and deep, round, round and round, into this darkness we'll drown, round, round and round.
Thank you. This is a song called Why Does Love Tear So Deep, and this is dedicated to my mum.
Sister, did I let you down? Did you think your baby brother would drown? You dance, you laugh, you're just like me. Sister, have you ever cried for me? Father, have you ever cried for me? Am I in your head as you stare through your TV? You paint, you sing, you're broken just like me. Father, have you ever cried for me? Dad, your eyes are grey and green. Sister, I think that yours are brown. Mother, when you sleep you've got a frown. Why does love tear so deep? Why does love tear so deep? Mother, have you ever cried for me? As you spend your time drinking 1, 2, 3. You're proud, you're drowned, you're just like me. Mother, have you ever cried for me? Today I found a shift inside. It's harder to dive and to be free. We'll rise, we'll laugh through lenses I can see. The devil's number ends in 3. Dad, your eyes are grey and green. Sister, I think that yours are brown. Mother, when you sleep you've got a frown. Why does tear so deep? Why does love tear so deep? Why does love tear so deep? Why does love tear so deep? With all circles in our eyes, these happy eyes of mine that never cry. With all circles in our eyes, these happy eyes of mine that never cry. With all circles in our eyes, these happy eyes of mine never cry. We've all circles in our eyes, these happy eyes of mine that never cry. Sister, did I let you down?
MancuniaTV, the one and only artist and musician, Danny Cawley. Thank you, Danny. And like we say with all of our guests, what we have on MancuniaTV, whether it be artists, musicians, inspirational people, give them a follow on social media and support them, because that is what it is all about on MancuniaTV. And massive thank you to Danny. Now, our next guest is a photographer, a known photographer in Manchester, which, yeah, we've got plenty of them, plenty of brilliant ones, and that's why we love bringing them and finding out what they've been up to and what they've got going on. Our next guest on episode 2 of MancuniaTV is respected Manchester photographer, the one and only David Gleave. Yes, mate.
Cheers, Dave.
How you doing? You all right?
I'm good, mate. Thanks.
Good. Listen, last time I saw you before tonight, I think was probably just before the pandemic. You had an exhibition on in Manchester, and I came over to it. It was a great day I had with you. I remember that. It was when was that?
It was February the 6th in 2020, and yeah, it was just before it all went daft.
Literally just before the pandemic, then, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It was great, that, and you know, a lot of people seemed to come and see it. And was it as, you know, well received as you hoped?
Loads of people came. It was really good. It looked great, and yeah, it was good, mate. And then it all went, you know, tits up, as they say.
How did he go on during the lockdown? Obviously, there was nothing going on, not a lot you could go and, you know, take pictures of, kind of thing. How did he keep busy?
Well, you know, my photography really, I need large gatherings of people. That's what I rely on, and obviously there wasn't any, so I was sort of driving myself mad. But I managed to get out and do a few. There's some up on the screen now. Yeah,
if you're watching this at home now, you should be seeing some pictures as well.
I managed to get out and do some stuff, and but I was sort of driving myself mad that I wasn't doing enough, and I probably was, but anyway, you know.
The longer it went on, the harder it got.
The harder
it felt never ending, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly, mate, exactly, yeah.
Speaking of your pictures, and like I say, for those in the studio audience now, they could see pictures on the screen, or if you're watching at home, you will be able to see some of the pictures on the telly now. A lot of your work's been put in this book, magazine, whatever you want to call it, Rescued Time, which has recently come out. Tell us a little bit about this.
Well, it's called a zine. It's like a little magazine, and it's Rescued Time, so what I'm thinking, my photography, it's rescued time. It's moments that if it wasn't for me and the camera, you know, they'd be gone forever. But, you know, because I've rescued it, it's rescued moments, you know. And that's it. I had a look at what I'd done since March in 2020. And actually, I surprised myself that I'd done quite a bit. So I stuck it all together. Not all of it, actually. There's still a lot more, but I stuck quite a bit together and put it in this thing called Rescued Time. For those at home now, you will be seeing a lot of pictures. You must take so many pictures. What made these make the final cut? To be honest, mate, I didn't really think about it like that. I don't think too much. I just banged them all down and looked at them and said, you know, they work, you know, as a group of photographs, 40 pictures. I don't really think much beyond that, you know. Yeah. If they look good, they are good.
It is a great book, and like I say, if you're watching this at home now, you will see some of the pictures. If anybody wants to pick up a copy of this zine, Rescued Time, I love the way you've just explained it and why it's called that. Where can people get this from?
Well, they can get it off me. I've got 5 with me tonight, or they can get it, they can, you know, message me through social media, or there's a great new shop just opened in Stevenson Square called Unitom, and it's, if you're into art, photography, you know, books, they've got all that, and fortunately they're selling that for me. So you can go into there, Stevenson Square, Unitom. It's a great place. I get lost in there for hours, you know.
Well, somewhere to check out, definitely. So as the pandemic ended and we got into the back end of 2021, you found yourself busy and you went out on tour with Cabbage. Am I right in thinking?
I did.
You've got quite a bit of history with Cabbage, haven't you?
Well, I have. I started photographing them very early. I think they'd only been together a couple of months, and I photographed them early on, and in fairness to the lads, I did loads of great photographs, and I got a call off Owen, and he said, look, we're splitting up, and I was devoed like everyone else was. He said, but will you come out on tour with us for the last tour? I said, yeah, of course I will. I couldn't do it all, but I went for a week with them, and I lived with them, went in the hotels with them, did the gigs with them, took photographs. I've got some great pictures.
And what was that like? Because I'd imagine it wasn't like going away with a church choir.
No, you're right, it wasn't. It was good. They were all great, the lads. Like I say, I love them. And
I feel like I could see a million stories going through your head there.
There were some good stories, but, you know, they're such a great band, and they were all best mates. I still never got to the bottom of why they're not doing it anymore. They've all got different things to do. Maybe they've just run the course. You know, like the Beatles were only together 7 years, really, as a recording band. You know, Cabbage, 5 years. Maybe they'd done it and they wanted to do other stuff. But as I witnessed it, they were great mates. I'd never seen them better as a band. They were absolutely just great as a band. And I got loads of photographs of those last weeks. And we came to the last couple of gigs towards the end of the tour, and we'd all been, you know, in the bus, in the hotel, in the gig. And I think a couple of them got COVID. I didn't, fortunately. And they had to cancel, I think, maybe the last 2 shows. But that was the end of it. I was there for the last week. But, you know, love the band. They're great. And hopefully I've just, you know, captured some rescued moments.
Yeah, definitely. And you'll always be part of their story. There's no doubt about it. So since then, one thing I'm going to ask, mentioned at the beginning of the interview, is last time I saw you was when you did that art exhibition. You've obviously took a lot of pictures over the pandemic and with Cabbage and stuff. Is there any plans of doing any more exhibitions or anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. There's always that. I've got a space marked out for me in, I think it's January 2024 at the Central, you know, the big Central Library, Manchester Library, upstairs. Yeah. So I've got time, obviously, 24. It sounds like a long time away, but it'll soon be on us.
Yeah, before we know it.
And I'm going to put something together for that. And yeah, I'll be putting a lot of stuff for that. And in the meantime, I'm just cracking on and photographing everything I can.
Well, you'll definitely be coming back on MancuniaTV before January 24 to tell us all about that. So going forward, you know, you've got the Rescued Time book out. You've been on tour with Cabbage. You know, you've got all that stuff going on. Going forward, you know, I mean, we're in April now. Going forward, what have you got planned for the rest of 2022?
I'm going to Morocco in May.
Taking your camera?
Of course, I'm just going to Morocco. I'm just going to go on my own. I'm going to walk around Morocco with my camera, take loads of pictures, and I'll probably be staying home then for the rest of the year. And I'm supposed to be going to India for a month with Nev Cotter, who's over there, and we'll 3 months actually to escape the English winter. And I'm going to just be taking loads of pictures.
Why Morocco? What's made you pick there?
It's a great place if you're English, and you know, it's just everything you see is mad. So it's just a great place when you get your camera out. You know, everything you point your camera at is interesting. and that's why I'm going there. That's it, really. It's just a mad place.
Well, we look forward to see what you've got by the end of the year. I'm sure you're going to have a lot more rescued moments captured. Once again, David Gleave's book, Rescued Time, is available now. Follow him on all the usual social media channels. Just remind us of that bookshop in Manchester once again.
It's called Unitom, and it's if you know the place that's called Eastern Block, if you come out of Eastern Block and turn right, it's about 2 doors down. And it's if you're into art, if you're into photography, magazines and books, it's just full of that. You can go in and have a brew and sit down. It's a great place. So it's only just opened, you know.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you once again on Mancunia TV, our second episode. We'll hopefully see you again, no doubt, soon. But have a great time in Morocco and off to India as well. And yeah, good luck with the book. Rescued Time available now. Some of the pictures you will have seen on the screen where you've been watching this. But yeah, studio audience, let's hear it for David Gleave.
Cheers, Dave.
So on every episode of Mancunia TV, one of our favourite Mancunian poets, Leon the Pig Farmer, introduces one of his favourite Mancunian poets. Tonight, he can't be in off the square with us filming this live, but he is in Japan. So to introduce his special guest poet tonight, we are going to go over to Japan for Leon the Pig Farmer, who is going to introduce this month's poet.
Cheers, Dave. I'm Leon the Pig Farmer. Unfortunately, I can't be at the live show tonight. I'm in Japan. I'm currently in Toyama with Esther Koch, the other half of the Dirt, and I'm at the moment in artist live music venue, and I'm with the 13th Vinyl, who I've accosted or made friends with whilst I've been here. So I can't introduce live the guest this evening, but it is the brilliant Esther Koch, who I've had the privilege of performing with loads of times. So yeah, enjoy Esther, and I'm also going to give you my spoken word piece for tonight in the company of these guys, so who are coming to the UK in October. So Esther, enjoy.
Thanks, Leon. This poem is called Taurian in the Nightclub. It was less a disco and more a forge. His lap was an anvil. She sat. He bashed a steel shoe out of her in his size. Fills her with magma, warm and ductile, like tapioca pudding. She would have made an awesome sword. When she hears the clouds outside roar, she can't work out what's weather and what's war, such is her trauma. She's not a slag. She is slag. A waste. Mecca bingo detritus, a Taurian in a provincial nightclub, or an aging heifer in a small town china shop. There are porcelain boys everywhere. A paso doble of private school red lapels, the Jaeger to her Red Bull. She permits the ring in her septum be pulled, but the iron in her sternum is ruled by the god Hephaestus, bridled by an omnipotent, invisible man. She froths at the mouth as she bites his lip. Like an agitated mare chomps at the bit. The heat of the dance floor makes incense of their sweat. There's horsehair on her cheeks like primordial lichen on a rock, or the woolly underbelly of a leaf. The rave becomes a crypt and unwittingly illustrates a tarot. The Queen of Cups is lost to rum-filled furrows, and a tequila hierophant is exhausting the fool with the esoterica of agave azul. Courage is 5'9", wearing 6-inch heels, and the star, she's wearing nothing at all. The lovers build a Tower of Babel up through the roof and into the night. Temperance exits the dance floor stage right, but the Taurian is pagan about her pole like it's May. And so she cuddles her column with the pits of her knees and the arch of her spine until day the cold therapies the inebriated. The beaten whites of eyes are shot with Campari, soiled chinos, layers of chunder and mucus after party served up on the concrete like eaten mess, red velvet residue on her dress, clotted cream on her hold-ups. Is she Club Confused or Club Confucius? Silly string and sea foam, the stuff that makes childish nymphs of goddesses. Pink light on an oyster spill, a slug of woman ingredients on the floor in the porch of someone else's home, like a slice of dawn gâteau. Thank you. Don't let anyone tell you it's not profound to be a pisshead, is the moral of that poem. This next one is called Solomon. And if anyone can tell me, I mentioned Cheetham Hill in this poem, but it's not the answer to the question. If anyone can tell me where I met Solomon after the show, I'll buy you a drink. Yeah, I don't get it, sorry. This poem is called Solomon. Where men are unsung crusaders, and the Mall is their Byzantine. Where women are so full of grapes of an evening that by noon they can be plucked from the vine in a town twinned with Capernaum, where forklift messiahs bend water, and teenage Mary Bethany's use pumice stones to exhume the skip in their step. I met him. Even sluiced in rain like Genesis, his unleavened cheeks retained their short crust crevices, pocked like Baba Ganoush, splinter-lipped, with yellow teeth like the adobe turrets of Tuareg villages. Public house vestibule synergies were shared in drunken soliloquies, but to spare themselves the post-traumatic intimacies, eyes alight at hidden terminals in middle distances. Solomon, surveilling the solitary visages of precinct pilgrims as they do their due diligence, looks like the unlikely culmination of just wood and water, like withy stick men, baptized in a stream by druid children. He exists on the balls of his feet. He saunters across concrete like a satyr in heat. He's diabolical, damned to funambulate his elliptical of the greater inferno to catch Charon ferries on the Irwell. He's the plastic clamour of buses, the clandestine fizz of champagne. He sounds like Cheetham Hill, but he dresses like Michael Caine. My towling voice absorbed his wet propaganda, his leaky atonement. I wrung him dry of the future, and instead we found a moment. We were like two skinks shuckling in a cold-blooded bear hug. Sin trickled from his skin in stalactites, and it found me like worried blood does hematite. And we didn't talk sense. We talked serendipity. We talked about relentlessly living and psilocybin, like the cylindrical life of a sea monkey. Life is already enough. And if life is so small, then why has it got to be so tough? Thank you.
So there we go. Thank you, Esther Koch.
Thank you.
Massive thank you to Esther Koch and, of course, to Leon the Pig Farmer for joining us on MancuniaTV, episode 2. But it is time for some more live music, another one of our favourite bands in Greater Manchester at the moment. This is Loose Articles.
Thank you. Does anyone in here like football? Does anyone in here like Gary Lineker? Yeah! Oh, no. Who likes watching Gary Lineker shag a crack? I can't even say it. Packet of crisps. Hey! You dirty bastards. Yeah, we're going to sing a song about Gary Lineker.
That
swapping over guitars. Right, this is our last one for you all, unfortunately. We're going to sing a new song for you. So, we're loose articles, we're all feminine, we're all threatening, and you know what? We're fucking class. This new song is about manipulative men and how I would rather drink beer with my pals than shag them again. Can I get an amen to that? Hey. This one's I'd rather beer.
MancuniaTV, the brilliant sounds of Loose Articles. And you know, that's one of the best things about hosting something like MancuniaTV. The new and, you know, up-to-date music we have like that. We've got Loose Articles there. We've got a legend that is MC Tunes dancing away up there. We're going to be bringing him on in a bit. And we've got more live music a little bit later on from the Shed Project. But once again, studio audience, let's hear it for the brilliant Loose Articles. Okay, our next guest is a lady called Karen Boardman, who happens to be the manager of the Loose Articles, but she is so much more than that, so let's find out. Let's hear it. Our next guest on episode 2 of MancuniaTV, Karen Boardman. Karen, how are you doing?
Woo!
Great to see you, okay?
How am I going to follow that?
I'll tell you what, Rad, with your experience of what goes on in Manchester, what are you thinking? The new look MancuniaTV, what do you reckon?
Honest to God, give MancuniaTV a big round of applause for what they're doing here. I mean that because, hey! Because there's nowhere else to give bands of the emerging artists like Loose Articles a platform on TV. So they're doing really important work and we're really proud to support them.
And do you know what? No, thank you. And do you know what? I don't think there's any other city in the world that could get away. And, you know, like Loose Articles, they're what Manchester's all about, aren't they?
Yeah, Manchester.
There's no one else could do that.
No, well, not as well.
Not as well, not as well. Let's talk about you, Karen, right? I want to go right back in the day. 19 years old, you're working at the Hacienda. How did you end up at the Hacienda and what were your life like back then?
Well, my best mate was going out with a bass player who was in a band called Stiff Kittens that became Warsaw, that became Joy Division. And we went on that journey with them for a certain amount of time. And I knew then that this was another world. They were doing well. They were making a living from it. And there was press and blah, blah. And I thought, wow, if they can do it, maybe I can. But, of course, they ploughed the money into the hacienda, so I spent all my nights in there and eventually blagged myself a job.
When you started working at the hacienda from day one, what exactly were you doing?
I was doing... Well, actually, it's a good question because this is the way I got into it. And there are loads of ways you can get into the industry, but because back then it was a music venue... I was just working behind the bar, but because I was working behind the bar, it gave me a key to the place. So it enabled me to go in early, see the bands coming in, thinking, wow, I can't play, I can't sing, but there's someone over there moving in, there's someone over there filling in forms, I can do that. So that. I mean, it gave me the key to the door. So if you want a job in the industry, think about things like that just enable you to get in, and then you can go from there.
It's great advice, that, and you definitely took advantage of that. So you went from working behind the bar at the hacienda, you ended up, opening up, letting the bands in. You ended up looking after and helping out a lot of pretty big bands while you were there. Tell us about some of the bands who you worked with while you were at the hacienda.
Well, I mean, they all played in those days. So Echo and the Bunnymen, Tears for Fears, Orchestral Manoeuvres, all those great bands. New Order, Madonna. I was there on the Tube that night. Anyone remember that?
That was...
Yeah,
am I right?
MC Tubes will remember that.
Am I right in thinking Madonna at the hacienda were her first ever UK gig? Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah, it was. And I'm sure Tunes will agree with me here. Everyone was just stood around going, what? Is this what? This is a woman dancing with a mic and obviously lip syncing. And we're just all scratching our heads going, this isn't a band. But yeah, I mean, that was her first UK performance and skyrocketed. But it was being around those bands and those artists and the people that were helping them that inspired me to move to London and get a job.
Well, I was going to get on to that. I wasn't going to let you get away with that. You were a big part of the hacienda. You're helping all these bands. You're meeting them. You're working with them. And then as a proud Mancunian and proud of what Manchester does, you end up in London.
I know.
What's all that about? What's all that about? What happened?
I came back, learned my trade and came back.
Before you talk about coming back, tell us about London. How did you end up in London and what were you doing down there?
Well, I just went. I wanted a job in a record company because I wanted to know how it really worked, the industry, because at that time, in the 80s, they were making millions and millions of pounds. And so I thought there's only one way I'm going to get the experience, and that's to work on the inside. So the job at London Records, I mean, at that time, if you were from Manchester, everybody wanted you. You know, you were really cool. And, I egged it up. I did all that. And so they gave me a job. But I worked with some great bands, and I saw how a very small record label within a huge group, Polygram, grew through just signing single deals with people like Dollar and Salt and Pepper and, all those sort of... And Pete Tong... Tunes, wherever it is. Oh, yeah. Pete Tong was the A&R guy at that point on the dance label. So we were all really just winging it, I guess. But then they signed Fine Young Cannibals, and that turned the tide for that label because that album, The Raw and the Cooked, was huge.
What were you actually doing for them? What were your role?
Marketing and coordinating sales teams. And so they went out in those days to record shops at Gallops, swipe sticks that got the singles in the charts, and it was really exciting. But to go from being a very small label to this big global player was a journey for me, and a journey I needed to take.
Did you enjoy your time in London?
Yeah, it was fantastic. But it also made me realise that actually you need to have more than the talent. You need a great team around you. A really great team around you. And so bands were coming in, they didn't have management, talking to them about, but mainly sort of American college bands at that point, like Dandy Warhols and drop 19s, those indie, and they were coming to the UK without tour managers or anything. So that's how I started managing.
So what year would this have been when we were looking at?
Oh, God.
Roughly.
It was in the 80s, so late 80s, 88, 89. And so I got the bug for management then, because, you know, you are that conduit between art and commerce. You have to have that person who can talk to the artist in a language that they understand, scramble it or unscramble it, and then talk to the finance people at labels and go, this is what we need to do. And it's a skill, but it's vital, as is all the crew, sound, lighting, tour management. You have to get the right team and then manage it.
So you obviously learnt a lot down there, and just listening to you now, you obviously relished your time down there as well. What was the turning point when you ended up coming back up to Manchester?
Managing a band called The Orb.
Right.
We're actually based in Sheffield.
Yeah.
Well, they were all over the place, really. So Black Dog was in Sheffield. The co-manager, Adam, was in Sheffield. And I thought, right, OK, I've got the skills. I know what I need to do. Came back, managed that band. It was a nightmare. But we got a #1 album.
Did you always know one day you'd end up back up north?
Oh, God, yeah. My heart's in Salford.
So you did that with The Orb, you continue doing what you're doing. What have you been doing since then? We're going to talk about the work you do with Loose Articles in a minute, and, you know, the future and stuff. But since then, what have you been doing with yourself? Well,
managing. I mean, I went on from The Orb to a band called Lamb, who did really well. It was all that trip hop and all of that, and Tunes knows about them. We were in the same building, weren't we? At Juicy House. And so that they were quite successful, and then just built up a roster, really, of young emerging from Ray Morris, who's quite pop, Karima Francis, JP Cooper, who's done really well, signed to Ireland. And so I thought, right, yeah, we're in Manchester and we can do it. And then I took some time out, and then Damien from BIM, I went for lunch with him, who's brilliant, Damien, manages the Orioles. And I was like, oh, you know what, I'm really missing management. And, you know, and he went, I've got just a band for you. Yes. I was like, oh, hang on a minute, I'm just chewing some fat with you over lunch. Whoa, hang on. He went, no, you need to do this. You're a match made in heaven.
And that was Loose Articles. Well, we're going to bring Loose Articles on at the moment, but before we do, you must be excited, you know, just listening to you, the work from the early 80s right up to now. The music scene in, you know, Greater Manchester at the moment is so, so good. That must really still excite you, the fact that we do still produce so many great bands.
Yeah, and, you know, the talent is here, but I'm a great believer, and I always have been, in that you need the infrastructure. So you need things like MancuniaTV so that young bands can cut the teeth on disciplines like TV, like radio, like press. And when they get under the national spotlight, if they've done this a lot, they're so much better than everyone else already. So, you know, what you're doing plays a vital role in making artists from Greater Manchester much better and ready.
We are privileged as a team to be able to meet people and work with people as well. You know, we really, really are. So obviously, 2022, you're managing Loose Articles, and we're not going to do an interview in the same room without bringing them over. Loose Articles, let's have you over here. Come on. There's a microphone there for you. There's another one.
Oh, God, don't give it a mic.
So tell us about Loose Articles then. When were you formed as a band?
2019.
2019 you formed, and you all from different parts of Greater Manchester, or how do you all know each other?
I'm from Denton.
I'm originally from Bradford.
I'm from Blackburn. I'm from Nottingham.
Right, so it's a proper mixture. So you lot met, you started a band up, and all of a sudden you ended up working with Damien and stuff like that, and then you met Karen. Were you aware of Karen before she started managing you? And be careful, because she sat you.
No, not all. No,
right.
Damien just went to us. We were looking for a manager because we sort of accidentally sacked our last manager. Nicely, though, nicely. Yeah, he was great, just not a fit for us. So, yeah, Damien just sort of came to us and was like, I think I've got someone for you. And then here comes Karen.
So what were your first thoughts when you met Karen?
Thought she was great. Thought she was a straight talking South Park.
Yeah, we wanted a northern woman, really, and that's
what she got. And obviously with the background that Karen's got as well, it must have really, you know, did it help you with your band and you realise where you wanted to go with it?
Yeah, we got, one of our mates as well, Pete Eastwood, and he was singing your praises as well.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying, like, how mint she is. And then also just, when we met, we were just there like, right, she's sound, she's brought us around. We like her. Yeah. That's all you need to do is buy us around and then we'll love you.
So what about you as a band then? Tell us where your influences come from. Because as I said at the beginning of the interview with Karen, I think there's only Manchester that could produce a band and like you know what I mean? You're brilliant at what you do and stuff and you're just Manchester at its best.
Our influences aren't just musically though. Our influences are just from like every day-to-day thing. Like we chat a lot about like politics, I talk a lot about like anxiety and things like that in the music, but try and make it funny.
Gary
Lineker, yeah. Drinking. Crisps.
Pub culture, like pubs, proper pubs.
So what, have you got any gigs coming up? Obviously, you know, we're in the second week in April now. Have you got any gigs coming up after the second week of April that you want to give a plug to? Anything exciting happening? Any new songs or anything?
Yeah.
We've got Stockton Cawley and we've got a double whammy as well.
We've got Stockton Calling on the 16th. The week after, we're in Wales doing Record Store Day. After that, we've got Gold Sounds in Leeds. Day after that, we're doing a double whammy. We're doing Get Together Festival Sheffield and then going up to Scotland, to Glasgow on the same day.
Most importantly, though, we're playing at the Working Men's Club at Beat Herder Festival in Clitheroe. So
right.
Yeah, it's been announced tomorrow, so we're allowed to say it now to everyone.
Clitheroe won't know what's us. It's it when you lot turn up, though, will they? You know what I mean?
Well, that was what we said when we first started the band. That was our aim, wasn't it? We wanted to play the Working Men's Club in Beat Herder. So that's a
well, it's brilliant you're doing it, and of course you're easy to find on social media as well for anyone who's watching. It's just loose articles in it as well. So Karen, going forward as gang leader of the band, what happens next for the band?
World domination, actually.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. What else would you expect from Karen Boardman and loose articles? It's a match made in heaven, isn't it?
Can I just add, Dave Grohl's favourite band? I know it's very sad what's happened this weekend, but
it's awful.
He did choose them to support them in this summer had they been playing. So watch this space.
Definitely. We will still get out there to the Foo Fighters fans and stuff, but I think that says a lot, doesn't it? But listen, good luck with everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
Good luck, Clitheroe. And keep in touch with us and thank you for joining us on MancuniaTV.
Thank you for having us.
No problem. MancuniaTV, Karen Boardman, Manchester music legend, and of course the brilliant Loose Articles. And we say it with everybody as well, but please, if you don't already do it, follow them on social media, support them, because this is the future of Manchester. Thank you.
Oi, oi.
It's a great pleasure now to welcome one of our favourite comedians from this part of the world, the one and only Steve Titley. Steve, how you doing?
Hello, Mum.
Can I just start by saying as well, you're probably the best dressed person we've had in the history of MancuniaTV.
You know, I'll make an effort, you know. Oh, hold on.
You're not on this one.
She's pretty well dressed too as well, yes, madam, yes.
I think you'd look good in that, actually.
Oh, well, let's try later on. Let's swap, yeah, let's swap. So
Steve, you're going to do...
It's 2022, let's swap, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anything goes.
It does for me, but yeah, we'll talk about that later. Yeah.
Well, we're going to have a performance of you shortly.
I want to have a go, yeah. I want to have
here
a
on MancuniaTV.
Yeah,
First of all, tell us about yourself. What are your first memories of comedy and what got you into comedy?
Well, I'm obviously not a Mancunian because I've come from Wolverhampton. Wolves won, Man United 0 at Old Trafford the other week. Let's not forget that.
Do realise you're
moving on quickly, yeah. But I grew up in Wolverhampton. I suppose watching people like Dave Allen, you know, them sort of people. Stuart Lee now's a hero. I'm not that good, by the way. Don't get your hopes up, you know. They're just my heroes. People like that, you know, but your mass market people are really good. Some of them, Kevin Bridges, people like that. You know, you can see the massive talent in people. Frankie Boyle, you know. he's brutally funny, you know, people like that, you know.
When did you realise that you could do it, you could be a stand-up yourself? Because it's one thing liking comedy, but actually being able to do it is a different ball game, isn't it?
I'm not sure if this is my first gig. No, I just fancied it. I thought I'll have a go. You know, I've been doing bits of other stuff, and I thought I'd have a go. And it's great. You know, it's great. You know, good gig, bad gig. It's an experience.
Do you remember your first gig?
I do, yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, I think I lasted about 30 seconds at the Frog and Bucket on the Monday night. I didn't get slapped though. You know what I mean? Unlike
how long ago
Chris
was
Rock.
that, Steve?
Oh God, about 7 or 8 years ago.
Did you shit it?
I was, I did shit it, yeah. Is that, as they say in Manchester?
Yeah, that's what we say, yeah.
Shit it, yeah.
Rock and roll TV.
Proper shit it.
Do what we want, proper shit it,
yeah.
Well, you did all right, you're still here to tell the tale now.
Well, physically, maybe not mentally, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm here, yeah.
No one gets out of Manchester mentally well, believe me.
No, that's true, yeah.
So you did, you know, you continue doing it. Where do you get your inspiration from for your comedy, you know, what you talk about and stuff like that?
Yeah, stuff from your life, stuff you see, anything you think, you write it down. You write down 100 jokes, and then you come back to them, and you think, God, one of them might be funny. And you pick that out of the list. It's a numbers game. You know what I mean? It's a numbers game.
You must have quite a good memory to remember everything that goes on.
We'll find out in a minute, but yeah, not too bad, yeah.
So how did he go on? It's a question that I feel I ask a lot of people because we've had the maddest couple of years ever.
Yeah.
How did he go on during the pandemic? Did you find that you took inspiration from that, or?
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, I know some like people who do it proper full time, and that's their only a bit of acting and other stuff as well. But some of my mates really struggled in the pandemic. You know what I mean? But you know, being comedians, they found something positive out of it. But for a year or so there, they just couldn't go on stage because nobody could go anywhere, could they? Really, not to gigs and places. No.
When things went back to normal and it was time to go back out and go on stage again, did you feel like, you know, it's back to normal, or were there a bit of nervousness there?
It took a while. You know what I mean? It was like, you know, they say it's like riding a bike, but I'm not very good at riding a bike, so you know, it didn't help. You know, but yeah.
One thing that people will have noticed in the studio and watching at home is that you brought some props with you.
I have, yeah.
Now tell us a little bit about the picture and the candle.
I bought this, I'm plugging something. I'm plugging my show called The Church of the Fall. So I love, you know, a lot of Manchester music. I love the Gallaghers and their front and best band in the world and all that. But of course we know they weren't even the best band to come out of Greater Manchester.
Well,
that was the Mighty Fall and Mark E. Smith. The late genius Mark E. Smith. So
what was it about the Fall and Mark E. Smith?
I don't know. I didn't really get into them. I missed the first 25 years. And a friend of mine was taking some actors' shots, and he got pictures of Brick Smith, his second wife, in his studio. I said, "It's just a resting-looking woman. Who's that?" And he said, "Oh, it's Brick Smith." And go and watch the Fall. I went to watch it, and I thought, This is madness. It's just a middle-aged man shouting over a beat. This is me with a backing band, you know. So I thought I'd try it again. It went the second time, penny dropped. Genius. You know what I mean? It was genius, and it remains genius. So my show's about Church of the Fall. I did it at Manchester Fringe last year at Lock 53 near the Comedy Store. Got nominated for, I'll blow my own trumpet, nobody else will. Got nominated Best Spoken Word and Spirit of the Fringe. So it's you know, it's okay. It's a good night out. I'm doing it Edinburgh Fringe, Brighton Fringe, probably Chorlton Fringe, a couple of other fringes. Your fringe? Anybody's got a fringe they want me to do the show in? Yeah? You've got a good fringe. He's got a great fringe, that lad.
Are you planning on doing it again in Manchester?
Yeah, I'm hoping to in the next couple of months. So if you know, Google it, follow. There's at Church of the Fall, Twitter, Church of the Fall on Facebook, churchofthefall.com. I'll put them up. But probably doing a couple of work in progress, polishing it up shows, you know, coming up, yeah.
So if people find you on social media, they'll be able to find out more about the Church of the Fall?
Yeah, at Church of the Fall. At Steve Comic, yeah, that's me.
And the candle?
The candle is a shrine, isn't it?
Just a bit of respect.
It's called Church of the Fall because the Fall are called a cult band, but they're way too good for a cult. It should be a broad church, mate. You know what I mean? It should be a broad church.
I think that's very respectful of that, if I'm honest.
So it should be. Yeah, man was a genius. And
thank you for joining us. Just remind us once again where people can find out about the Church of the Fall and yourself.
At Church of the Fall, at Church of the Fall Show, at Steve Comic. churchofthefall.com, stevetitley.com, Titley, Church of the Fall, that kind of thing, you know what I mean? And whatever you do, listen to The Fall. It'll change your life.
We agree. We know that. We know
Indeed.
that.
Indeed.
Well, listen, thank you for joining us on
great.
Mancunia
Thanks for having
TV,
me. Yeah.
bringing the picture, and of course, good luck with everything you've got coming
Cheers,
up.
mate. I
We're going to
appreciate
ask you
it.
to
Yeah.
move over to the stage now and a performance for us. Steve Titley, everybody.
Thanks.
Good evening, Mancunia. Yeah. Hold on a sec. Just checking Will Smith's not in. You know what I mean? I mean, it's unlikely, innit? Because after the Oscars, Uncle Phil probably grounded him for a good 7 days. That was a little sort of, you know, what's it called, that show? Beverly Hills, that one when he was in it. Yeah, anyway, it's an old reference for the older kids, put it that way, yeah. Okay, any votes for the jacket? Any votes for the jacket? Yeah. I like to make an effort, you know, it's not a proper job, is it, this? But I like to make an effort, you know. But the trouble is, people sometimes see the silver hair and the velvet and they think, I hope he's not one of them racist 1970s comedians, you know. I'm not, but I did grow up in a very racist place, the 1970s. I mean, you're not a racist crowd, are you? No? Yeah, oh, God. You got to ask, you see. You know what you're going to get. Last week, I got a joke about a baguette. Last week, they thought I was talking about a small bag. You know, it's never what you're going to get. But the 70s gets a lot of stick, doesn't it? A lot of stick. But it weren't all bad. We had ABBA, yeah. They've reformed, didn't they? I used to really fancy the blonde one. What's it called? Benny, that was it. Hey! Now, is that joke inclusive? You know, so I've asked myself, so I grew up in a very homophobic place. The 1970s, yeah, we were getting on board with that theme there, yeah. But still, the 2020s, they've not been any picnic, have they? Not been a picnic. We had Brexit, then Brexit again, then COVID again, and the labour shortages. Drove past a sign on the way here, it said, pick your own strawberries. Thought I'll have to soon. And then, you know, and slow burner, very good, sir, yeah. But, you know, and inflation, are you feeling the pinch? Yeah, inflation. The big issue's that expensive, I've had to start reading it. Thank you. But no, it's true, and like, you know, during lockdown, I went to a very bad place. And by a very bad place, I don't mean West Bromwich. Yeah. Some people turned to God, didn't they? I can't, I'm an atheist. I believe in death after life. Yeah. But, you know, I think there's bigger mysteries than God, really. Why do you never see a handsome darts player? Yeah, never, no. And like, why are we so shocked at the concept of Christ on a bicycle? If he can walk on water, he can learn to ride a bike. It's true, isn't it? Now, and I'm not going to mock people with, you know, beliefs when they've got no scientific proof, because I'm often mocked, because I believe in the power of the palm. Yeah. Can you get there on camera 3? You've only got one camera? Okay. You get there on camera 1 there, yeah? It's all there, don't mock me. See, there's me headline, yeah? There's me heart line. And starting here, going all the way down, under me jacket to me elbow. That's me gullibility line. Yeah, I mean, you know, in lockdown as well, we sort of, me and my wife tried to spice things up in the bedroom department. Yeah. I think that was the first mistake we made, calling it the bedroom department. Yeah. We tried a bit of sadomasochism. Disaster. Kept getting interrupted. Should never have picked Alexa as the safe word. No, and I love my wife. Wouldn't swap her for anything, really. She got me through lockdown, but child of the 70s. She's got her own prejudices. For her, anybody, right, who's got a cat, anybody, is automatically a good person. Never seen a Bond film. But, yeah, you got that one. You can come again. But no, it's true, and I've got to, you know, I've got to move on, haven't I? Really, you know, I can't keep talking about the 70s. Things change, things improve. You know, cosmetics for men. I never saw that coming. For years, I thought male grooming was the sort of thing the Catholic Church turned a blind eye to. But I've got to move on. 'Cause the grey hair, glasses. Clearly, I'm not the spring chicken, am I, sir? You know, I'm not, am I? You know, and like, I didn't need these glasses years ago, but they've changed my life. I can see like a hawk now, by which I mean I can see across 4 fields and spot a rabbit. Yeah. not much use. I'm a vegetarian. Yeah. But I've got it in the back pocket should I need it. But I'm thinking I might be taking them back because, you know, whenever I go driving in them and I see a personalised number plate, I still read wanker. Hey, thank you, Mancunia. Thanks for listening to my problems. Listen to the Fall. Good night. There you go.
Steve Titley. A massive thank you to Steve Titley for joining us tonight on this episode of MancuniaTV from Off the Square in Manchester. Now it is time for our final band of this episode, but before we ask them to play live, we're going to have a chat with the founding member and the frontman of the Shed Project, Roy the Boy. Roy, how you doing, man?
How are we doing, David? All right, mate?
Yeah,
good, man. Sorted.
Now, first of all, I'm great, mate. Yeah, listen, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on. We've got so much to talk about in a short space of time. First of all, though, the Shed Project, when did you lads form?
In a shed.
In a shed? When, no?
We had a tribute band called The Attics, what were formed in an attic, just pissing about with our mates and that, and then John on rhythm there, he started sending me these tunes. I've had tunes in my head for the last 25 years, but never wrote them down. Then John was on nights and he used to have a battered old Strat and he'd send me these little tunes on WhatsApp. So next minute, bang, we got in his shed. We had a few demos. Tim come along and then we had 12, 13 tunes.
So when was that?
That was 2018, something like that, 19. So we spent a good 12 months in John's garden shed, hence the Shed Project.
One of the things that I think everyone will agree that a lot of people respect about you lot is the fact that even during the pandemic, you kept so active on social media. Was it important that you did that?
You could only watch so much porn up there, you know what I mean? My wrist was killing. No, it's just cracking on, innit? You know what I mean? Something to do. We had a couple of members who left and then we met Shane. Well, I knew Shane anyway. Shane come along, Ollie come along, and then we thought, fuck it, let's gig. Let's do it. So we're just showing people that a group of lads like us, we're not musicians, we can do it, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
During the lockdown, like I say, you did keep active on social media, and I think it's a fair comment that a lot of people are aware of you. Because of that, was that intentional?
I think most of the graft in it is social media these days anyway, you know what I mean? So, yeah, just getting it out there. And then I think because we're ourselves anyway, wherever we are, we're just ourselves, and people have got on us. So, yeah, it's a buzz.
So as soon as the lockdown ended, you got out there gigging, and one of the first gigs, you know, notable gigs you did, you actually played here and filled this place out of the square. But you did a gig with the Phoenix Club.
We did the Phoenix Club, we're Phoenix Nights, yeah. It was just a no-brainer, you know what I mean? I watched Arfold there a few years ago. They were good mates of ours, and it was a top night. They had Clint Boone on and that, and then I just said to these, like, let's do it at the Phoenix. We sold 300 tickets in 10 days.
Because you're all Bolton lads, aren't you?
Yeah, we're all Bolton. Well, Ollie's from Darwin, but all the rest of us are Bolton anyway. So, and then, yeah, we did that, and off the back of that, we sold this out in 4 hours.
It's going really, really well.
So, yeah, we're doing all right, man.
I know quite a few people who you know as well. Football managers mainly. You know what I mean? They all speak highly of Keith Hill, who's at Scunthorpe now. David
I'm the
Flitcroft.
decorator. I'm a painting decorator, so I do Keith's house, do Dave's, do Gazzy's.
Dave Flitcroft, who's at Port Vale now, obviously. Great lands. Every time I see them, because I work in football as well, every time I see them, it's like, have you seen that Roy and all that sort of great, you know, great ambassadors for you.
Yeah. Like I say, just word of mouth, innit? You know what I mean? Just keep on rocking.
You're going to play for us live in a minute. One thing I want to mention, though, is you've got a big gig coming up in Manchester at the Academy on Saturday, the 25th of June. You looking forward to that?
With yourself as well.
Absolutely,
and Mr. Tunes,
couple
Mr.
of
Nicky
DJs on me and MC Tunes.
Come on, yeah. So, yeah, looking forward to it. We've got afternoon people supporting us in Civic Green.
It's a brilliant lineup. So it's the Shed Project's headlining it.
Yeah.
Myself and MC Tunes are going to be there DJing it. You've got afternoon people and Civic Green playing as well. And there's still tickets available as we record this. Where can people get them from?
I ain't got a fucking clue there.
It's Manchester Academy website.
A Manchester Academy website. www. Skiddle. Just ring me up and I'll drop you one off.
And do you know what? The amount of graft that you put in during lockdown on social media, getting your name out there, I think, and especially after filling this place out as well,
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a great gig. So if you fancy a top Manchester night out, Saturday the 25th of June, Manchester Academy, Shed Project, Afternoon People, Civic Green, and myself and MC Tunes as well. So really, really looking forward to that. Listen, you are going to play us out for this edition of Mancunia TV. Take it easy. You make your way over to the stage and get yourself ready.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Cheers.
you, Roy,
Thanks
from
for having
the
us.
Shed Project. So, as Roy makes his way over to perform, a massive thank you from all of us for watching Mancunia TV tonight. Our next episode is going to be filmed here off the square in Manchester on the 27th of April. We've got Standing Man, Accident Group, Stephen Lynn, Nidge Saunders, Truster Fox as we all know him, Leon the Pig Farmer introducing somebody as well. Myself, I'm going to be here. MC Tunes is going to be here again. If you do fancy it and you want tickets, if you follow Mancunia TV and Mancunia Presents all across the socials, you'll be able to find out where you get tickets from. But it would be brilliant if we could see you here the 27th of April for the next edition of Mancunia TV being filmed here off the square. Thank you so much for watching tonight. On behalf of all the crew, all the team, Audio Face, Crash Audio, Georgina, Anton, absolutely everybody involved with Mancunia TV. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. But to play us out, a band who play at Manchester Academy at the end of June, this is the brilliant Shed Project.
Thank you, Manchester. This is If You Know, You Know. Situations you're in, we all have things to say, we all have things to prove, but I'll blow your mind, put my feelings inside. If you know, those places where you wanna go. If you know, those pictures that you wanna show. If you know where you're going to, where you wanna go. If you know, if you know. Till dawn. Are you playing poker with the cards you've drawn? Do I plan your mind from dusk till dawn? From dusk till dawn. From dusk till dawn. From dusk till dawn. From dusk till dawn. Yeah, I know. Thank you. Thank you very much. You enjoy that? This one's called Feel My Love. Why do we do the things that we do? Why say the stupid things that we say?